Welcome to another episode of EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling. Here are the results of TNS Bound for Glory, the 10th of December 2025. Number 1. Knockout Tag Team Championship, The Inspiration, C, defeated Elegance Brand to retain the titles. Ash by Elegance escorted Heather and M for their entrance. The challengers isolated Cassie Lee to set up a coast-to-coast dropkick from M. Rally on a hot tag to Jessie McKay running wild. Heather accidentally clocked M. Cassie kicked Heather out of the ring. The Inspiration double-teamed M for the Idolizer to win. Number 2. TNA International Championship, Steve McCullin defeated Frankie Kazarian, C, to win the title. McCullin started Oniri with a suicide dive during Kaz's entrance. Kaz got payback for a brutal sunset flip bomb off the apron down to the floor. Kaz taunted McCullin's mother in the crowd, so she flipped the double bed. The match played out stealing each other's moves. McCullin grabbed the chicken wing submission. Kaz escaped to counter for a roll-up. He grabbed the ropes for leverage, however, the referee caught him in the act. Kaz borrowed Angel's wings from Christopher Daniels. That wasn't enough to finish McCullin. Kaz set up his opponent in the Tree of Woe for a spear. McCullin sensed it coming and dodged the attack. Kaz collided into the corner. McCullin executed that same maneuver successfully and finished with the KIDDT to win. The two-time champion celebrated with his mother. Number 3. Tessa Blanchard defeated Gia Miller. Gia tried to wrestle clean to show her skills. Tessa was having none of that. She fought like a bully by grinding Gia's face into the steel and a suplex onto the steps. Victoria Crawford landed cheap shots. The referee eventually caught her in the act and issued an ejection. Crawford protested with security. Jody Threat launched for a cannonball onto the pile and chased Crawford to the back. This distraction was what Gia needed to regroup. She went on the attack for a thirst press, monkey flip, and twisting crossbody. Tessa removed the corner pad to smash Gia's head into the steel. Gia had enough. She fired up for a headbutt. Gia lifted Tessa for a powerbomb out of the corner. While the ref was fiddling with the pad, Tessa escaped the powerbomb by punching Gia with a roll of quarters. Gia was out cold for the pin. Number 4. Call your shot gauntlet, Frankie Kazarian and Nick Nemeth both win. That's right. 2 winners. The prize is a shot at any TNA title at any time to cash in. The gauntlet match is similar to the Royal Rumble, except the final to have a singles match to crown the winner. A little bit of setup for the finish. Jody Threat arrived ready to compete, but Kaz cleaned her clock to steal her spot. Santino Marella was angry at these shenanigans, but Kaz didn't care. He pie-faced Santino with disrespect. As Kaz leaned through the ropes to talk trash, Santino responded with the Cobra Strike. Kaz fell through the ropes down to the floor. The nitty-gritty came down to Matt Cardona fighting the Nemeths. Nick accidentally superkicked Ryan off the apron for an elimination. Steph DeLanda hooked Cardona's foot, so he put hands on her. Mance Warner, who was previously eliminated by Cardona, stood up for his wife and pulled Cardona over the ropes for an elimination. Remember Kaz? He was chilling outside this whole time. Kaz and Nick were the final two. They duked it out in a quick match with a referee bump. A backup ref was in the game. On a superplex from Kaz, both men scored inside cradles on the mat. The referees counted 3 for each wrestler. Since it was a double pin, Santino ruled a double win. The fans chanted bullshit. Order of entrance 1. Le Ying Lee 2. Mara Shade 3. Ryan Nemeth 4. Nick Nemeth 5. Cedric Alexander 6. Rich Swann 7. AJ Francis 8. St. Travis Williams 9. BDE 10. Rascals all 3 thanks to Santino Math 11. Danny Luna 12. Eric Young 13. Jack Something 14. Rosemary 15. Hometown Man 16. Zach Clayton 17. Jody Threat Frankie Kazarian 18. Santino Marella 19. Matt Cardona 20. Mance Warner. Order of elimination 1. Mara Shade by AJ Francis 2. Le Ying Lee by AJ Francis 3. Rich Swann by AJ Francis 4. AJ Francis by Rascals and BDE 5. Travis Williams by Eric Young 6. BDE by Eric Young 7. Trey Miguel by Cedric Alexander at Cedric Alexander by Eric Young, 9. Jack Something by Hometown Man, 10. Rosemary by Danny Luna, 11. Danny Luna by Hometown Man, 12. Santino Marella by Nick Nemeth, 13. Zach Clayton by Matt Cardona, 14. And 15. Myron Reed and Zachary Wentz by Nemeth Bros, 16. Hometown Man by Eric Young, 17. Eric Young by Matt Cardona, 18. Mans Warner by Matt Cardona, 19. Ryan Nemeth by Matt Cardona, 20. Matt Cardona by Mans Warner. Winners, Frankie Kazarian and Nick Nemeth. Number 5. Knockouts Championship. Kelani Jordan, C, defeated Indy Hartwell to retain the title. Competitive fire flowing. Jordan had a near fall on a frog splash. Hartwell rallied for a flying elbow drop to the spine. When Hartwell tried to finish for Hot Donut, Jordan countered for a roll-up. Hartwell regained momentum by countering a Cazadora into Hot Donut. The pin was too close to the ropes and Jordan placed her foot on the ropes for the break. Hartwell went up top for another flying elbow drop. She missed the mark. Jordan blasted a kick to the face and finished with the split-legged moonsault to win. Number 6. Hardcore Wall, The System, Moose, Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, Brian Myers, and Johnny Damgo Cortez defeated Order 4, Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steelz, John Skylar, Jason Hodge, and Agent Zero. Similar to War Games rules, Order 4 had the man advantage. Once everyone was in the ring, winner by pinfall or submission. The action was violent, then it went up a notch when Agent Zero choke-bombed Alicia onto tacks. Eddie checked on his wife and left himself unprotected for a big boot from Agent Zero. Myers and JDC furiously beat up Agent Zero with kendo sticks, but the big man stunned them with headbutts. Moose sprang in for a spear. He wrapped his shoulder with a steel chain for a second spear. Myers and JDC hit double slingshot planchas onto the great hands. Everyone was down. Ali poured tacks on Alicia for a 450 splash, but she moved out of the way. Ali crashed down onto tacks. Eddie wrapped barbed wire around his knee for the busting knee parted to pin Ali. Number 7. X Division Championship, Leon Slater, C, vs JeVon Evans ends in no contest. Slater and Evans put on an instant classic. Bouncy levels at 100. Crazy moves and the crowd was rocking for the near falls. Slater and Evans took the action outside and lost track of time. The bell rang for a 20-minute draw. Loud boos from the crowd. That's not the actual result. It gets much worse. Santino Marella restarted for 5 more minutes. Slater and Evans continued the fierce pace. Evans gained the edge for a Spanish fly. As Evans made the cover, the lights went out. Dark State was in the house to attack both Slater and Evans. The crowd was furious about that garbage finish ruining such a great match. Number 8. TNA World Tag Team Championship and NXT Tag Team Championship, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, C, did it Bully Ray and JeVon to retain the titles. Tables match. Team 3D dressed in classic gear. Spike Dudley came out to hand them glasses. The Hardys were also dressed in their classic gear. Matt and Jeff brought out a chair and a ladder. To win, both opponents need to be driven through tables. Team 3D started strong by hitting the classics. 3D maneuver to Matt. What's up headbutt to Jeff. Get the tables. Team 3D put Jeff through the table on a 3D. The match continued with Jeff evening the score for a swanton off the ladder onto JeVon through the tables. Bully Ray was outnumbered. Matt hit a pair of twist of fates. After a couple of chair shots to the back, Bully accepted his fate. The Hardys slammed him through the table to win. Afterward, Team 3D took off their boots and handed them to the Hardys. This match went about 15 minutes and the atmosphere was electric the entire time. Very good Legends match that delivered maximum entertainment. Number 9. TNA World Championship, Mike Santana defeats Trick Williams, C. A perfect way to end the night where violence was key. Once the match was officially underway, Williams controlled the early action. He later catapulted Santana headfirst into the ring post, causing Santana to bleed from the forehead. The momentum shifted after Williams went to ringside to taunt Santana's daughter, who responded by slapping Williams, allowing Santana to recover and attack. The final minutes of the match saw multiple near falls, including Santana hitting a 450 splash. After interference from Williams' lawyer, Williams hit an avalanche urinage for a 2 count. Santana dealt with the lawyer before being hit by Williams' trick shot for another near fall. Santana ultimately secured the victory after hitting a series of discus lariats for the pinfall. So Bound for Glory is in the books. Now to What If, are you WrestleDream predictions and discussion.
Welcome to another episode of EveryRing, that's everything wrestling. This week we'll take a bit of a break from What If, and look at something often looked over, wrestlers who came and left before making an impact or any influence in the world of wrestling. Some wrestlers have had only a few matches with WWE, AEW, and TNA, now Impact Wrestling, often due to short-term deals, injuries, or tryout matches. WWE. Cain Velasquez, the former UFC heavyweight champion, had a brief WWE run centered on a feud with Brock Lesnar. His only televised match was a quick loss to Lesnar at Crown Jewel in 2019. Mikey Whipwreck, best known for his time in ECW, Whipwreck had only one televised match in WWE, a squash match against Taz on Sunday Night Heat during the ECW Invasion angle in 1997. He was later invited back for the ECW reboot but reportedly declined. Karma, also known as Awesome Kong, she had only one official match in WWE, appearing in the 2012 Royal Rumble. She was a prominent threat in vignettes but was granted her release shortly after her match. Nathan Jones, after a brief stint in 2003, the Colossus of Bogo Road, was pulled from a match and left shortly after. He had a few matches but his time was very short-lived. The gobbledygooker Hector Guerrero, this infamous gimmick appeared only once at the 1990 Survivor Series. The person under the costume, Hector Guerrero, wrestled one match in WWE as the character. Dirty Dick Slater, from July 1986 to May 1987, known as the Rebel. A big name in the Southern wrestling scene, WWE didn't embrace his style. The Rebel gimmick didn't get over and the superstar basically was used as an enhancement talent. The Fabulous Freebirds, the Hall of Famers Michael Hayes, Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy actually had a very brief 1984 blink and you miss it run. Their notorious wild ways got the best of them and Andre the Giant wasn't happy with their behavior. Al Perez, the world-class championship wrestling all-star, made his name in the business but unfortunately didn't get the boys of Connecticut impressed. His brief 1989-90 run was uneventful, then some backstage hijinks caused him asking for his release. AEW. Nathan Frazer as Ben Carter. Before signing with WWE, Frazer had 3 impressive matches on AEW's Dark and Dark Elevation programs in 2020. Since he did not have a US work visa, AEW could not sign or pay him. WWE signed him months later. Awesome Kong. She wrestled a limited number of matches in AEW, making her surprise debut at the first Double or Nothing in 2019. She wrestled sparingly and took on a backstage role before leaving the company in 2021. Kylie Rae, a popular independent wrestler, Rae was part of the original AEW roster in 2019 and had her last match at the inaugural Double or Nothing. Citing personal issues, she asked for her release shortly after and left the promotion. Luigi Primo, the Pizza Man, did have a very brief run in AEW. The time Tony wanted to highlight the independent wrestlers but this joke wasn't a good choice, yet he is a playable character in AEW Fight Forever. Man Scout Jake Manning, with a very brief hiccup and you miss it, again when Tony Khan was looking to incorporate independent wrestlers, this was another let's throw everything against the wall and see what sticks moment. TNA. Randy Savage, after his WCW contract expired, the Macho Man appeared in a series of segments with TNA in 2004. He participated in one match, teaming with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles against Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. Sami Zayn as El Generico. Before his time in WWE, Zayn as his masked persona El Generico wrestled a few non-televised tryout matches for TNA in 2011, though nothing came of them. Jon Moxley as Dean Ambrose. Similar to Sami Zayn, the future AEW star had one tryout match with TNA in 2008 as an independent wrestler. The appearance did not lead to a contract. Nick Namath, Dolph Ziggler. While he has since signed with TNA and become a top champion, Namath made a very brief appearance as a Spirit Squad member on a 2004 TNA pay-per-view, putting his career path in an interesting light. Of course, now is a full-time TNA star. China. The WWE legend had a very short run in TNA in 2011. She wrestled in one tag team match at the Sacrifice pay-per-view before departing from the company. Tito Ortiz. The MMA fighter had a very short run where he served as a referee where he caused Jeff Jarrett his title. I'm sure I may have missed several, so if you have any that I missed, feel free to email us at everyring@gmail.com, and you know the protocol. We have predictions, discussion and so much more. Until next week, let's wrestle.
Hello. I guess my presence was requested because of my last performance. Yes, it's me, Nigel the Yeti, and I'm making the predictions for AEW WrestleDream. The pundits of wrestling under the moniker EveryRing, that's everything wrestling, wanted to take advantage of my popularity, so let's go. Number 1. $500,000 match, Young Bucks vs. Jurassic Express. The whole poor Young Bucks story has had some entertaining value, but you can do so much with limited idea. The Jurassic Express reuniting is again something that doesn't excite for long-term storytelling. The match should be fun but still not really anything worthy of a PPV. Prediction: Jurassic Express win and will be groomed to win gold again. Proving Tony Khan is limited in creativity and trying to go back to what made it special. Number 2. I Quit match, Darby Allin vs. Jon Moxley. This feud has been built nicely where at events Darby Allin makes his presence felt and creating chaos. The only problem is the Death Riders seem to be lost in the whole storytelling. Predictions: Darby Allin gets the win and put in the world title picture. Number 3. AEW TNT Championship match, Kyle Fletcher vs. Mark Briscoe. Kyle Fletcher has been just amazing and this match could steal the show. Contrasting styles will make this fun and will definitely be entertaining. Prediction: Kyle Fletcher retains. Number 4. AEW Tag Team Championship match, Brody Doe vs. Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. The newest IWPG World Champion Takeshita wants gold and has been bunting heads with Okada, making this complex in the best way possible. Bandido is injured and could play a factor and add to the story where Okada and Takeshita winning tag gold and wanting each other's gold will play out as a brilliant wrestling story. Prediction: a new AEW Tag Champions Callis family, Okada and Takeshita. Number 5. AEW Women's World Championship match, Chris Statlander vs. Toni Storm. Toni Storm is the AEW MVP and is one of the best stories in wrestling. Chris Statlander hard work and persistence will make this one of the more perplexing matches on the card. Prediction: Chris Statlander retains and Mercedes Moné enters the picture again. Number 6. AEW World Championship match, Hangman Page vs. Samoa Joe. This is almost a weak way to set up a feud. Hangman Page continues to bore wrestling fans, yet a lot of tribalists are trying to push him as the second coming. Samoa Joe garnering gold will be fun, but this will be Page's second title defense. Prediction: and still champion Adam Page. Well, that's that. Now let's go to the discussion. And you're welcome for my services.
Welcome to the discussions. While there is a lot of wrestling to go through, it was noted Jacob Fatu has a non-wrestling injury and will be out for a long period which may go into 2026. On SmackDown, they played it out as an attack backstage, assumption it was Drew, but it was not specified. In sad note, AJW in Marigold referee Katsumi Sasaki has died due to a bear attack. While foraging for mushrooms, he was attacked. It was reported NXT's Hank and Tank will compete in Pro Wrestling Noah vs Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf. WWE spreading the wealth of their stars. The G1 Climax winner added to his accolades where Alpha Konosuke Takeshita defeated Zack Sabre Jr. to become the new IWPG World Heavyweight Champion. It was also discussed, when Samoa Joe's AEW contract ends he will retire from wrestling, making it hard to believe in 2025-2026 the greats like John Cena, AJ Styles, Hiroshi Tanahashi and now Samoa Joe will call it quits, truly an end of a generation. Injured AEW star Jay White returns to social media after 7 months with a one-word post making fans excited for possible return. It was also reported the reason Andrade is missing from AEW TV, apparently he still needed to fulfill the no-compete clause. Well, let's go to the matches of the week, wrestlers of the week and indie star. WWE. Raw the number 1 contender match, Jey Uso vs LA Knight vs CM Punk. The match was fun and helped carry story. The top 3 stars put on a fun masterclass that interestingly helped with the unexpected end of the vision. NXT Women's number 1 contender Battle Royal. The best damn women's division was put on display while adding the TNA knockouts. Story-driven and just so much fun, where we saw a small metaphor reunion plus added interest of Tatum Paxley winning while having Lyra Valkyrie cheer her while Izzy was jealous. SmackDown US Title Open Challenge. Sami Zayn vs the returning Mad Dragon Ilja Dragonuv. Just wow, were both put on just an amazing match with several 2.999 and everything that makes wrestling special, plus an unexpected and new US champ. AU Claudio Castagnoli vs Roderick Strong. Wow, this match was a banger and pit 2 of the most underrated stars who just know how to wrestle, and both did not disappoint. TNA. Technically they didn't have matches, so we are going to cheat and highlight the Great Bound for Glory match. TNA X Division Championship. Leon Slater, C, vs JeVon Evans. If it were not for the horrible decision of having Dark State interrupt, this would have easily been the match of the year candidate. It was that damn good and the future is so bright. Wrestlers of the Week. WWE. The new US champion Ilja Dragunov. The returning Mad Dragon brought the fire and made everyone remember why he's one of the best wrestlers in the business. AU. Gates of Agony, Bishop Korn and Toa Liona. With their victory over former tag champs Hurt Syndicate was a fun banger and was truly unexpected. TNA. The new TNA champion Mike Santana. Bringing back the gold to TNA and fulfillment of the dream to be world champion, just a feel-good story. Indie Star of the Week. Nikki Blackheart, CCW Women's Champion. One of the rising stars of wrestling, where she's the complete package of size and charisma. Like always, check us out on YouTube and Facebook, and email us at everything@gmail.com. Chalo kushti karate hai.
Wrestling is something special, as you can see our human element dealt with a lot of superstars. King Kong Bundy, a wrestler deserving WWE Hall of Fame. Sherry Martel was an amazing person who helped revolutionize the women's division. The Crusher, who Milwaukee famous, was a classic star. Puppet the Midget was a bigger-than-life superstar who is both engaging and ahead of his time. Wrestling is life and we want to push it forward.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 14, Kenosha Community Television. Remember to tune into my program, Just Talkin', shown right here, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Channel 14. On the program, we cover community events, talk to nonprofit organizations, and who knows, we may bump into a celebrity now and then. So remember to tune in to Just Talkin' Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 14.
Kenosha Community Media. For 40 years it entertained, educated and produced local production for the city of Kenosha. Viewers like you not only can watch but be part of the channel by bringing in local flair. Spectrum Channel 14, Roku and Internet. KenoshaMedia.org. 262-564-6103. Address: Southwest Library, The Hub, 7979 38th Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin 53142.
EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling is carrying out the tradition that was brought to you by Diablo Angelico and Danger Dan. The show must go on. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. on Kenosha Community Media. Channel 14 with Spectrum or on Roku KCM streaming. With EveryRing, That's Everything Wrestling will keep you updated and informed. Mondays at 5 p.m. Fridays at 6 p.m. Tune in and enjoy wrestling. The renaissance of wrestling is occurring as we speak, so be part of sports entertainment. Each week you can see the discussion with topics, wrestlers and matches of the week. Looking at the big three: WWE, AEW and TNA. So if you enjoy wrestling and everything that makes wrestling special, tune in KCM 14 on Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling.
Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where classic cartoons are revisited. Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. If you enjoy classic and rare cartoons, you go to show. Nigel the Yeti is taking the reins while Mr. Boinkers add to the programming. The likes of Betty Boop, Popeye, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Mickey Mouse, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Felix the Cat and so much more. On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14, sit back with friends and family and relive the magic of morning cartoons. Wake up, gather the family and enjoy cereal and relive one's youth. Mr. Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where whimsy is part of the magic. Join the other circus freaks where cartoons were fun and artistic. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Enjoy what made mornings special. Mr. Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where classics fill the time.
What the heck are we watching? Movie reviews without pompous and pretentious critics who have agendas. Kenosha Community Media, Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Cinephiles who like movies for entertainment and not rants and raves, who make the audiences feel bad for themselves. Weekly discussion on movies and with no alternatives. The movie reviews are to help audiences to make their decision. Not only are modern movies reviewed but a discussion on hidden gems, where good movies that have fallen through the cracks and forgotten. So before you go out, check out What the Heck Are We Watching? On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14. Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m.
Just Turned Heel, hosted by Danger Dan and Diablo Angelico, as seen on EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling. Behind the curtain look at professional wrestling. A gritty shoot style of interviews where we look at various aspects of wrestling. Ever wanted to know what an indie star needs to do to get their foot in the door? Ever wanted to know what a booker does? Ever wanted to know the purpose of a referee is? Just Turned Heel will plunge into the world of wrestling and look at every facet. Just Turned Heel, YouTube exclusive, starting January 28, 2024.
You haven't seen horror till you've seen horror of the crying skull. See teenagers getting killed. See horror coming at you every scene, and a skull. See the skull coming at you. The skull, and hear her cry. I hope you enjoy the horror of the crying skull.